Hello YouTubers, and welcome back to the Dennis Bloodnok Channel. Now this video is part 3 of the Samsung NX10 versus Nikon D7000 review. I will put a link to part 1 in the description just below us, and also in the pop-up banner somewhere just over to the top, well, what is to my top left, your top right. So please check those videos out, part 1 and part 2 as well. Anyway, on with part 3.
Hello and welcome to the Dennis Bloodnok Channel.
Well YouTubers, we have now reached the part of this comparison, of this competition video, which covers the subject of still image quality. In both cases I have taken a series of images which are of nature, street, architecture and general outdoors and location images across several locations across the UK on days of varying weather. Basically, there are some images taken in warm sunny conditions and other images taken on dull overcast days. Now this is also the quiz part of the video, because all of the images I am going to show you are all unedited images taken straight out of the two cameras, the Samsung NX10 and the Nikon D7000. But I'm not going to tell you which sequence of images comes from which camera. I'll let you work that out, and you can leave your answers in the comments section below this video. Well, finally, we switched to the Nikon D7000, but with the 18-105 kit lens. Now, as you may have seen in my initial review of the Nikon D7000, and I'll put a link to that at the top of the page, top of the screen, the autofocus for video on the Nikon D7000 with this exact lens, the 18-105 kit lens, that autofocus is at best highly mediocre, and at worst, as you have seen with the previous footage with the 35mm f1.8 lens, at worst there is no autofocus. So in this case I have used manual focus. My conclusions with regard to these two cameras are that the Samsung NX10, it's a very small light camera with small light reasonable quality lenses that is a lot easier to carry around than the Nikon. The autofocus for stills is quite good. Maybe it's not quite as good as the Nikon D7000, but it's still more than capable. And of course the autofocus for video on the NX10 wipes the floor with the autofocus for video on the D7000. Video quality though on the D7000 certainly has the edge over that on the Samsung. Sound quality I would give as a draw. I think the built-in microphones on both cameras are quite reasonable. And when you bring into account the price of the two cameras, I mean, you have change from £100 for this particular camera and lens combination, and the fact that for less than £250 you can have that kit lens with the D7000. Both of these cameras represent very good value for money as used buys. In conclusion, whether you choose the Nikon D7000 or the Samsung NX10, well, the Nikon is a more, for want of a better description, available camera. You're going to find more examples of a Nikon, and there is a huge number of lenses available for the f-mount on the camera. Meanwhile, the Samsung, although a very good camera, Samsung unfortunately pulled out of the camera market, so you're not going to find a great deal of support for this camera. Having said that, it does represent good value for money and a good camera system.